Welcome back to New York Talk, episode 158. I'm your host, Elyse DeLucci. How are you doing? Let me just get this out of the way. I am sitting here on my living room sofa having a conversation with you, as I always do. I used to sit in the chair. The lighting was a bit better. Right now, my room and this video production looks pink. My living room is pink, cream, and gold. I mean, that doesn't shock you, does it? But the lighting, it looks like a blend of Marie Antoinette's palace and a strip club. Just so you know what we're dealing with right now. And I should say I'm wearing one of my favorite new pants from a set from Wally's, aka Walmart. Joy Spun. I talked about them, I think, on Insta a while ago. Wide leg, elastic waist sweatpants. So palazzo sweatpants. Matching top. I don't have the matching top on. But hot pink. They're so cute. They're so cute. The only issue with Joy Spun I am having right now is I think it gets a little bally in the wash. So if you have a solution on how to not have clothing get bally, let me know. Actually, I should say, we know why clothes get bally. It's because the fabric's not as good. Remember, like, back in the day, you'd go to a department store and you'd get a really nice sweater or a top. You could wash it 1,000 times and it would last. But now, no, forget it. It's not a thing. Anyway, fact of the day. Money.com. I read an article on Money.com. They said the average American right now needs $1.5 million to retire comfortably. This is up 15% from last year when Americans were feeling like they needed $950,000 to retire. Here's the thing, okay? Actually, you know what? We'll talk about that in a bit because I have a lot to say on money. Eclipses, earthquakes, I feel like that's more topical. Are you okay? We're not dead yet. You should have been on the receiving end of the GC, aka group text of my mother and my two sisters. My mother has become a conspiracy theorist overnight. I cannot handle it. She was sending prayers, Virgin Mary prayers, and then conspiracy theory YouTubes, links to YouTube videos, and sending them at petrifying hours, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 in the morning. What are you doing? Don't you have to go to sleep? Like, what's going on? And she's sending these videos, and it's about how the world's going to end with the eclipse, and say your Hail Marys. And I'm just worried about, do we have glasses to watch the eclipse? Can I get by with borrowing glasses so I don't need to buy a pack of 24 on Amazon? That's where I was eclipse mentally. You know what Not once did I think that the world was ending. In fact, the tooth, the ex, Paul, he told me that somewhere in the world there are 2 eclipses a year. 2 eclipses a year. So if he told my mother that, my mother's then basically going to say that the world's ending twice a year since the day she was born till the day she passes, God forbid. So, it's like, it's a lot. And the earthquake, well, that was just weird, but we're over it. And there was a Reddit thing, I think it was like a New York magazine. There was an astrologer, nut job. Not that astrologers are nut jobs. Not if you do that. I like these people. I love horoscopes. I just saw a medium. Oh my God, I gotta tell you about that. Anyway, so astrologer, she was feeling weird vibes from the eclipse, with the impending eclipse, and she wound up killing her husband and pushed 2 of her children in front of a moving car. Okay, and one of them died. So just so you know that the eclipse, it brought out some real insanity in people. Okay, and God knows why. It's just in your head. But that astrologer, the thing with my mom, of course, is 100% real. I would post I would post screenshots of her text messages, but I don't need to be disowned further. And the astrologer, read the article, read Eclipse Astrologer Tragedy, New York Mag, Google it, you'll see what I'm talking about. I did see a medium, though, by the way. I did see a medium. One of my good old friends, James, well, he was my first boyfriend, and now he's gay. I guess that's the effect I have on men. Anyway, he got me for my 40th a gift certificate to a medium, and her name was Danielle. She's from Pennsylvania, and I was like on a 6-month wait list, and we finally did it, and it was great. I loved it. It was fun. I never went to a medium before. She told me a lot of things about my father who passed away, and it was really emotional. And, you know, I wasn't there when my father died. I wasn't at his deathbed. I didn't know he was dying. I only found out a couple of days before he was passing away, and it was and nobody told me where he was. I mean, it's a really bad situation. It was a bad situation. My parents, as you know, divorced, estranged, the whole thing, and but I grew up in a totally normal, air quotes, household from, you know, since I was born till my parents got divorced till I was 17. So when they got divorced and they totally, you know, went their separate ways, and there was a lot of drama there, it was weird, because, like, catastrophic in my world, because this was my daddy. He taught me how to ride a bike. He made breakfast on the weekends. He gave me money, allowance, you know, like, he was my dad. Like, just, so it was really weird. And you know, without getting into everything, I write about it in my book. You could read about it in my book, Wise Girl. It's available on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. And I'm not plugging my book. I never, by the way, I'm going to do press for my book. That's a whole thing. Because, you know, I got another project in the works, and I can't do press while the other project. But you could buy the book, and you could read the story if you're interested. But when he was estranged, you know, and my mom wanted my sisters and I not to talk to him, and it was no comments. Okay, no comments. And when he got sick, though, or when I knew he was dying, I like lost my mind. I was freaking out. And yeah, like, I just had no clarity, didn't get to say any last goodbyes, didn't get to talk to him, I just knew nothing. So this medium told me things, how he was feeling, what he was thinking, and it was great. I didn't get closure on my dad's death, but it helped me further to try to find some closure within me, if that makes sense. But let me tell you something, okay? Because this was only then, like, ruined a few days later at, what was it? Was it Easter? No. Oh, my mother's birthday. We went out for dinner a couple of weeks later, right? Or maybe a week later after this medium appointment, excuse me. And my sister, God knows why, my sister asked me, how did it go? Because I told her, I'm not telling you in front of mommy. Not telling you in front. She asked me, oh, you didn't tell us about how the medium appointment was. And I was just like, well, I'm not discussing that now. And my mother and my aunt came out like talons, with their talons out, like feral hawks. Just they were like, you know, mediums are against the Catholic religion, and they're charlatans, and they're like sent from the devil. And I'm just like, you know what? Leave me alone. It was fun. I had a good time, and that's what I'm gonna say. Okay? But I liked it. I did like it. I had the most annoying thing happen recently. So I wanted to send my youngest daughter, to dancing school, you know, here in Manhattan on the Upper East Side. And one of the worst things about living in the city, which it's, you know, it's like very small, if you're a mother of girls, is I went to dancing school when I was little. I want my kids to go to dancing school, like the old dancing schools, you know, like you sign them up and they go every, you know, Wednesday evening or whatever, or Wednesday after school, and they do it for the year, and at the end of the year they get a pretty little costume and they do a recital and they have their little dance bag with their little dance friends. That's what I wanted. Tap, ballet, jazz, who cares? Do lyrical for all I care. That's what I wanted. So I can't find this dancing school anywhere, and I'm looking, but I found one, right? kind of in the area that I live, and like maybe, I don't know, 10, 20 blocks, whatever. And we call them and they tell us that it's going to be an evaluation. They have to do an evaluation because that's how ridiculous Manhattan things are for kids. It's like, my daughter's 8 years old. What are you going to evaluate? Like, she took ballet when she was like 2 and 3 at a baby place. There's no evaluate, but fine. So we did the evaluation right out of the gate. What do you think? They charge $150 for this evaluation. It's like, what? You wanted this, not me. Like, why should I pay? Anyway, so we signed them up for the class. And with every class we signed them up for was another hidden charge. So it was like, and I don't remember the cost because Paul was going to pay for it. Thank God, because I'm come on, please. He's making more money than me right now. Let him pay. So, it's not even let him pay. He has to pay. So and I'm appreciative, yes. Okay, moving on. So say it was $1,000. I don't remember. It wasn't. But say it was. So I paid the $150 for their evaluation. He then pays like the, say, $1,000. Again, that's not how much it was for the class. And then they were like, oh, you have to take a pre-class. And then if you're going to be in this competition, program, you have to do a Sunday program. Next thing you know, it was like $10,000. I swear to God. For my it was actually both of the girls were going to do it. For the 2 kids, for 3 months of dancing school. Can you imagine? And, so I'm letting Paul go back and forth with this lady, the owner of the dancing school. And I only found like a couple of her reviews on the school, but all the kids that I met at the evaluation who were in the school, they seemed happy. They also seemed like they had very wealthy parents. So I wound up telling the teacher, like the owner, like, this, it feels a little bait and switchy. This is a little weird. Like, it keeps being course after course. And she's like, well, it's outlined in the flyer that she had sent me initially, the PDF. It was littered with things. You could barely read it. And I was like, yeah, but it was cluttered. It almost feels like this is by design. Like, and I said, I really wanted my daughters to take a dancing school class. I really wanted them to be in dance. This seems like a place they could grow and stay in for a long time, but we can't do these prices. This is outrageous. Then she starts to knock them off. Can you do? Well, you know what? The other class, the mandatory competition class, I could take that down by 50%. Then I tell her, no, then she comes back and says, well, let me do it, a scholarship, you can get it for free. And then, and then she was trying to knock all the money off. And, and I'm trying, it's like Paul's talking to her on the email and I'm chiming in here and there saying things. And then I said to her, you want to know what? There's something that doesn't feel right. Something that, and of course she like lost her mind. Oh, I run an ethical business. How dare you? And you know what? And anyway, we had to cancel and that's the end of that. But here's my point. I'm so upset that I had that experience because I was so excited for the kids. And everybody's looking to make a squeeze these days. I mean, I'm not saying that this is her business practices and how she was charging for the dancing school. I'm not saying that is indicative of the times and this hyperinflation that we're in or about to go in, whatever it is. Like she was taking advantage. She was taking advantage of what she thinks are rich people that live in Manhattan, and we're regular people, and we come from regular backgrounds, and we work really effing hard. And you know what? I would drop the name of the dancing school, but I'm not. But I'm annoyed. I'm so annoyed. I'm upset. Anyway, ugh. So, I've been watching Hulu. I told you 2020. I found 2020 on Hulu. And if you're not from this country, 'cause I know we have international listeners, 2020 is like an investigative journalism kind of show. Very popular. It was popular. When was it popular? 10 years ago? 20 years ago? I don't know. But it's great on Hulu. The hosts are great. I forget their names. And I watched the Gypsy Rose story. I told you that a few weeks ago. And I watched another story. Oh my God, you're going to die. You got to watch it. Wait, it's called, I wrote it down, From Momfluencer to Felon, the story of Ruby Franke. Okay. I don't know who this lady is. Maybe you do. There's this woman. Her name is Ruby Franke. Apparently, she's a YouTube mom influencer. And I think her account is now since deleted. She had like 2 million followers, and she lived out in Utah. I think she was a Mormon. Yeah, she was a Mormon. And she would basically just show what her life was like with the kids, have the kids on, her on, and her husband and the, 4 kids or whatever. And her thing, though, like her kind of like her shtick, like you might say, oh, my shtick is like very New York. I mean, it's who I am, but whatever. Like her shtick was like, strict parenting, and she was always very much like what the Bible says, and whatever her religion and what they say, and how they had to follow, and spare the rod, spoil the child kind of thing. And long story short, I don't want to ruin it for you, but police got involved, and the whole story unfolds. And again, I'm not ruining it for you, but her account was shut down, and it is shocking. It is shocking. In fact, do not watch this with your kids, babies in the room, whatever. It is a perfect mom alone, girls' night on the couch, cocktail, popcorn, Hulu 2020. My mind was blown. I can't even believe it. You gotta watch it. The other show I watched that's so good, I don't know the channel it's on, I think Netflix, Homicide NYC. Loved it. All short show, 4-5 episodes. Love a short show. And it just goes through each episode focuses on a case, past cases, that the New York City Police Department and the detectives were involved in, and how they solved or didn't solve the case. And it's an amazing show for so many reasons. 1, because it's real, and I love reality. I like reality TV. 2, except ridiculous reality. Like, I'm not into, like, blind date, whatever that is. Love is Blind. Although I should, because everybody talks about it. Anyway. I love the reality. I love that it's real. You see slice of New York, slice of old New York. So if you want to see, New York in the 80s, 90s, whatever, watch the 70s, watch this. And also, it highlights the cops and the emergency response, civil service, whatever, people that work in the city, that not everybody loves these people anymore, and they do a good job, and they're tireless, workers, or at least these guys in the show. I loved it. And besides, it's like a cast of characters, so you'll appreciate that. Gotta watch. So back to the money talk. Let's go back to money talk. What is it? Money.com, based on a survey, said that the average American needs $1.5 million to retire. First of all, okay, that is well, how can I say that? This must be a country average, because yes, that is a ton of money. $1.5 million is a ton of money, but where I live, it's a high cost of living area. So if you retire at 65, I don't know if $1.5 million is going to last you, okay, if you stay alive till 95. I don't know. I'm not there yet. The other thing, okay, so this is biased, and I don't have that information. The other thing is that they said in the study, which is true, is that most Americans right now, and by the way, the study was done by Northwestern Mutual, most Americans right now only have saved $88,000 for retirement in their bank account. So while they're saying we need this 1.5 number, last year Americans thought it was the 950 number, but we only really actually have 88,000 in the account, is delusional to me. But yes, of course, everything is so expensive. It's like, how are people saving, right? So, and by the way, my plan, I'm going to work till I'm 99, and then I'm going to take a Monday off. That's my retirement plan. That's it. I'm never retiring. I have fully understood that is not an option, and that's fine. What am I going to do? I also think that let me say this. I like reading these benchmarky articles about your personal finances. I like when people say, oh, you should have this at this age. Oh, you should have this upon retirement. I like it because it gives me context to what other people are thinking, or what where we should be, but I don't think it's accurate. I think it all depends on your personal life and your personal situation. Like for me, I will not have any inheritance, right? I have nothing coming to me. So whatever I make, I'm on my own. That's it. That I was never handed anything, and that's it. What I have, I've done on my own, and that is how it's going to be for the rest of my life. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing or what your situation is, but when you're thinking about retirement and the money, it's just entirely an individual situation. One of the things that I thought was interesting, and I'm changing positions, my leg went dead. Fidelity Investments said a good way to calculate your personal retirement is to calculate how much money you make at the year end. So say by the end of the year you make $100,000. Times that by 10, and that's your number that you need for retirement. So again, you make 100 times $1 million for retirement. Again, whatever. This is my take. You should just be automatically investing in an S&P 500 ETF. That's what you need to be doing. 75%. If you have if you're able to do $100 a month, 75% of that money, $75 a month goes into the S&P 500 fund, and an ETF, and then the rest could go in treasuries, right? Bond, BND, whatever. That's the way safe. That's the way you got to do it. That's it. Obviously, if you're younger, you might want to do 90-10 split, but that's it. I'm not a financial advisor. That's just my personal point of view. But nothing's guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. I loved reading that article, and I wanted to talk about it. But it's depressing. It's depressing. Fidelity saying save up 10 times. Fidelity basically saying save up 10 years of your salary is so. That I don't even know how people do that. If you're a regular person like me with bills and kids, and especially if you're single, how am I saving up 10 years of salary? You know what? Forget it. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it, because you want to know what? It's depressing. And this is why I have a crippling eating addiction. This is exactly why. Because you want to know what? Just eat your feelings. When in doubt, just eat everything. Keto's going okay, but nothing to write home about. Whatever. Article on Curbed. I love Curbed. I used to know Lockhart Steele founded Curbed, Racked, and Eater. We knew each other back in the day. We used to work around the corner from each other. I think he wound up selling it eventually to Vox, which is owned by NBC. I don't know where it is now, but he's a great guy, an interesting guy. But Curbed basically is a blog. Lots of advertisers on it, and talks about real estate and blah blah blah. Anyway, an article, they're still around. So article was on there the other day talking about how New Yorkers find closets in their house and they turn them into rooms. And this is, of course we do. Of course we do. And it's so funny, though, to me. When I go into friends' houses outside of the city and they tell me how they have no room, they have to move, meanwhile, they're living in 2,100 square foot townhouse. They got closets up the wazoo. They have walk-in closets and basement closets and pantries. And I look at it like, maybe it's a 3-bedroom house. I'm looking at this house like it's a 19,000 bedroom mansion. I'm like, what? I have a library in my living room. That's what I call it. It's a closet with the door off. I mean, of course it is. So it's a great piece, and it's just, the New Yorkers, we'll take the door off the hinges. You'll put the removable wallpaper inside, throw a light in there, a little tiny IKEA desk, your laptop, a spinny chair, and there you go. Bam, a closet. What? Please. You put some floating shelves in there? I didn't do the floating shelves, though. I actually put actual floor-to-ceiling bookcases on either side. On either side of my closet, I had installed, inside it, the floor-to-ceiling bookcases, so it really is like a library. I have a chandelier hanging right at the top. It's amazing. All I need is some wood paneling and a cigar and smoking jacket. Set. By the way, that's so my vibe. But not my bank account. Can you relate to that? Can you relate to that? I literally just looked down and I was like, am I wearing a bra today? Am I doing this without a bra? No, I am. You need the sanity check. You need a I have a book out in my living room, Warren Buffett's The Snowball Effect. Warren Buffett, The Business of Life. I think I probably told you I met him years ago, like years and years ago. Nicest guy. But it's a great book if you want to buy somebody a business book that could also be like a coffee table book-ish. It's not big. I mean, it's very, well, let me say, very thick. It's extremely thick book. But it's not, it's what is it? 5x8, 7x9, like it's a regular book size. Let me tell you why I'm telling you this. It has a piece of life advice in it, or it has his investing philosophy in it, which I think is the most amazing life advice. And his investing advice is to find, like, essentially, like, distilled, and like it's literally a 600-page book. Find like 20 things, right? 20 investments, and go deep on them, like go all in, right? Like you always want to be, you don't want to be a mile wide and an inch deep, essentially, right? Like if you're a mile wide and an inch deep and you try to be a jack of all trades, you're a master of none, right? So it's like, I love this idea, of going hard on 20 things, it's like investing, right? Like there's a lot of people in the crypto community, which I'm still involved in, even though it's like, we're having a run right now. It's crypto winter, but you're having a little run. But anyway, there's a lot of people that'll call these coins, right? Like they'll buy into all these different, projects, coins, whatever, and they maybe will have $50 in one or $100 in something else. Low amounts, but you're never gonna be all in because you don't have a lot, right? And so, and by the way, I'm not saying go all in on crypto at all, so don't take that for But what I'm saying is that if you look at in your life 20 things that you go all in your entire span of your life, you go all in on those 20 things. I think that you're gonna wind up having a lot of fruit coming from that tree. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do that. Like I feel like I did and I didn't, right? Like I'm all in on my comedy stuff, right? But I wasn't all in on my marriage, unfortunately, right? Like, I mean, I've talked about it in the past. I was all in the sense of totally faithful and devoted and doing all the things that wives do, and what I thought I needed to do and how I thought I needed to be. But I gave up, obviously, and that's why the marriage ended. But if I was all in, if stopping or ending was not an option, what could have came of it? Like, I don't know. But it's a great book. It's old. It's been around forever. I probably had it like 15 years, but I have it displayed because I just love all of it. And by the way, it's a bear to read. It's ridiculously long to read, but it is a nice book for graduation or something. Can we talk about the cleaning? Can we switch gears? Can we talk about I think I talked about it last time. I'm trying to clear out my brassiere and underwear drawer. I've said this once before, I think a year ago to you guys. Like, I don't know when I became a large in underwear. Like, what happened there? What happened? Like, was that some sort of rite of passage with age? Like, one day I woke up and it was like my ass just grew into a certain size and I was going to be a large? Like, I must have missed the memo. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, or was I walking around, like, with uns, like, digging into my hips, giving me that dent, and I was like, time for a new size? I don't even remember. All I know is that one day I opened up my drawer and there were just a bunch of large undies in there, And on that note, can we stop calling them panties, please? It's sick and perverted, and the only people that should be referring to undies as panties are kids and jailed perverts. Okay, someone in the store, I was shopping, and they said, the department store, and I was looking for a specific brand. And you go, the panties are panties. Don't you say panties to me. I'm practically one finger away from dialing 911. You're making me sick. Like, I can't. I can't. Anyway, there are these drawer separators. My drawers in my bedroom are deep. They're like 7 inches deep, and they're 21 inches long. Like, your drawer might be 21 inches long, like that, right? Some drawers, though, they're more like 14 inches. Like my kids' dress, mine are built in, so that's why they're long, and deep. But my children's dressers are like a standard, dresser. So theirs are like 14-inch long, the interior length. So anyway, I had to search on Amazon to find these drawer separators. I wanted to get these tension roddy things, to separate the undies from the bras, even though I don't wear bras, but I'm refusing to give them away because, I wear bras, but I wear the elastic bras, because I do underwire. No, I'm sorry, underwire is so Victoria's Secret Angel 1999, and I can't deal with that. Like, I can't. So anyway, I found these drawers, dividers, and wrote them down, and I don't even know where they are. Sorry. I don't even know what the name is, but I put in an Amazon 21-inch drawer dividers, and I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. I didn't open the box yet. They literally just came. I'm looking. That is what's exciting me right now. Seriously, all the things going on in my life, redoing that drawer is at the top of my list. It is. And I'm also going to do a clean out. I'm also going to do the undies and bras clean out, which I said to my girlfriend the other day. She's a comedian. I said, "What's bra size are you?" And she's like 34B. And I was like, perfect. And she's like, "Why?" And I said, "I got bras for you." And she's like, I don't want your bras. I said, "No, listen." I was like, after, and she was like, "And that's not even your size." I said, "Yeah, after I had kids, things change." I said, "And I have all these gorgeous bras." And they said, "And they're padded, and and some have crystals on it, some have tags on them." And she's like, "I don't want your bras." Well, they're not dirty. What do you mean? And even if they were, wash them. Anyway. Okay. Quote of the week, Albert Camus, existential author. He wrote The Stranger. Okay, this is great. Listen, it's long. Bear with me. "In the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer, and that makes me happy. For it says, no matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me there's something stronger, something better, pushing right back. And that's in me, people, and that's in you, people, and that couldn't be better said. And I'm Elyse DeLucci, and this is New York Talk, episode 158, and I love to love you, baby. Talk to you soon."